wonderful crowd today here. Before we start, let us give a round of applause to all the organizers, all the volunteers who put TEDx together and brought all of you here today. Can we? Russian-born Chinese, defining personal identity. This is me when I was 2. Typical Chinese family. This is the place where I was born and raised, Irkutsk. It's located in Siberia near the Lake Baikal in Russia. Baikal is the deepest freshwater lake in the world. It is as deep as my Chinese roots. We would go there on summer vacations with our family, where my dad would fish and my mom would teach me and my sister swimming, just like every other family. I never considered myself different from others because of the Chinese nation in my DNA. My dad was born in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. My mom grew up in Harbin, China. I'm the 3rd generation of Chinese expats in Russia. You would probably expect me to tell you a story on how hard it was to find my identity because everyone else was looking at me differently. However, that would not be my story today. I was lucky enough to have completely different experience of Chinese expats living in a foreign country. Russia has more than 200 nations. Siberia belongs originally to Buryat and Yakut nation. And they look very Asian, with dark brown hair, yellow skin, and brown eyes. We have many Koreans in Russia in the 3rd or 4th generation who were deported to Siberia during the First World War. What makes us different? There are millions of us. And what makes us different is that we were born and raised in different countries than our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. However, most of the foreign-born children cannot speak their original languages anymore, especially if we're talking about one of the most difficult languages in the world. And this is what makes our family different. We started to learn Chinese in a group of 5 people with other children with similar backgrounds. After 10 years, only 2 people made it till the end, me and my sister. And the result was awarding. I'm doing my master's at Tsinghua University. My sister was just accepted several days ago to Peking University, where she will pursue her master's. Before coming to China, I didn't know any Chinese of my age. In our primary school, teachers would tell us if we don't do our homework on time, they'll send us to China. So all of us thought that Chinese kids do not play, do not rest, they just study day and night. Surprisingly, when I came to Beijing and I got to know more Chinese people, I realized, of course, that Chinese students also play computer games, hang out with friends, and procrastinate sometimes as every other normal student. And you know, when I just started to think about my identity or identities, that was in China. It was important for me to come to a place where my ancestors lived and to dive deep into my history. I started to know more about more Chinese and Russians. And I would frequently receive the question, are you more Chinese or more Russian? So I started to think about it more. One of my Russian friends told me that I'm the living proof of the existence of Russian soul. Another Chinese professor from Peking University told me that I have more Chinese traditions in myself, especially taking the family values on the first place. And I started to seek for the answer in others. I would always get different angles. During my bachelor degree, I co-founded with my friends Russian Student Association in our university, which essentially grew up into Russian Student Association in Beijing. You can see on this picture 3 people, all the presidents of Russian Student Association, Chinese, Georgian, and Buryat. And while uniting Russian and Chinese students, I never stopped asking myself a question. who am I? Because at the end of the day, when we're facing ourselves alone, this is the only question that matters. So while leading Russian Student Association, I noticed that there are many countries, communities, and all of them are operating separately from one another, even the Russian-speaking ones. And it felt like everyone was divided by geographical boundaries, while all being in a single city in Beijing. So me and my friends started to think about a platform where we can unite all the Russian-speaking people together to work together. And this is where Shanghai Cooperation Organization came into my mind. So Shanghai Cooperation Organization, back to 2016, had only 6 countries, like main member state countries. There were China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. And we proposed the idea at the SCO headquarters and got support from Secretary General. A few months later, SCO Countries Youth League came into life. In 2017, presidents of 6 countries decided to accept India and Pakistan to join, accept as core members. And then we started to have more people from India and Pakistan. After a year, we opened our doors for all 18 countries. Shanghai Cooperation Organization, as you know, is the largest trans-regional organization in the world, has 18 countries, 44% of world's population, where every 5th represents youth. So the idea of creating this non-profit organization was to give people from different countries a platform to work and grow together. But you know what was the most challenging part for me? It was not about having 8 countries instead of 6 or 18 instead of 8. It was the moment when I realized that with more non-Russian and non-Chinese speaking people coming in, I had to speak English. And it was challenging because Russian and Chinese are my native languages, while English is my foreign language. And I knew that I had to be perfect as a leader of the community because everyone will look at me. And this is what we're told by society at the end, that we cannot show our weaknesses. Otherwise, people might use it against us. So it was not really how it turned out in the reality. Within a year, we were able to create a team of people who embrace the difference, who are willing to make social impact, to make people around us to live a little better life than without us. We do not put labels on each other. It doesn't matter in our community where you come from, whether you are poor or rich, whether you just started your study or already have a successful running startup. Most of us are bilingual, multilingual, and multicultural. And we create lasting relationships by working together towards the same goal. And the goal is to build a platform, a strong network of young, vibrant leaders in the entire region and beyond. And this was the place where I found myself and where I found my identity. The place where it felt absolutely natural to be Russian and to be Chinese. I took the best from both cultures. The openness of Russian spirit and the belief in common shared future from Chinese, where the core is trust and respect to one another. Now, since I accepted both of my identities, I am not afraid to face myself anymore. And this is where I begin my journey. Thank you.